back to my channel. My name's Adrian. Today I'm delighted to bring you part 3 of the Bloodstones campaign that is now building for ShadowDark. So yeah, every now and again, when my affiliate link money builds up, I will then use that money to just go and buy something on Traitor RPG from a game designer or something that looks cool or interesting from someone I've never heard of. This is, obviously a big thank you for everyone that is using and continues to use my affiliate link, say, because all the money that I generate there goes back to other creators and allows me to do, well, actually discover this incredible series. So a while back I bought this, which was Bloodstones, the Tower, which is a very old Warhammer Fantasy role-playing campaign setting, one I'd never actually read before, and I love Warhammer Fantasy role-playing. I love ShadowDark, and I was like, this sounds amazing. So I bought it, read it, did a review, and well, absolutely love it. And the creator was like, I'm working on the next few, and I'm delighted to tell you that he has sent me the PDF copy of part 3, and I'm going to go through that today. So you can see I'm smiling a lot because this is turning out to be a really, really good series. I'm not going to mess around anymore. Let's just jump over to Traitor RPG so you can see where it is. So it's just available on PDF at this time. So it takes a while to get Traitor RPG print proofs, so this will come out on paperback and physical and hardback copy, just like part 1 and 2. So if you're not aware of the campaign, spoilers coming up. Yeah, I'll just go for it now. So there's 12 Bloodstones for the players to find and discover. Each have incredibly interesting and unique magical powers. So the first book covers, well, the zine covers the first 2, and then this one covers 1. So I think we're going to see more. I didn't know whether this is going to be 6-parters, each one covering 2, or we might go down to singles now. But yeah, let me just get into where you can pick this up. Let's say at this moment in time, it's Traitor RPG only. It is a PDF copy only. There were, say, the last copy, the last book was hardback and paperback, so this is coming. But this just directly picks up straight from the end of part 2, okay? And this is a 1 location. As you can see from the front cover, you're going to go into this man's house that has been vacant for about 50 years. He went missing, so they're going to go into there to go and recover, because they are aware that the 3rd Bloodstone is in there. Okay, so it is 66 pages. This is about as long as the first 2, so we're starting to see more information being put in. And well, before I get into it, obviously, if you are a player, then you pretty much need to disappear, because there's going to be some mild spoilers. I'm going to try not to spoil it all, but as a games master, there will be some pretty, not full-on spoilers, but there will be some spoilers as we go. So it's written by the legend of Talik. I'd say I've done a couple of his other books as well, and I'm finding him a really, really good and talented writer. I think I've messed around enough on here, but yeah, let's just get into the book itself, and then you can see why I love it. So here we have part 3, a grimdark adventure for ShadowDark RPG, crawlers for levels 2 to 3. So say this carries on. The first one is for levels 1 and 2. So you do need to play the first book to run this. However, I'm going to come to my conclusion at the end, and because you don't necessarily, because with a few changes, you could just perfectly run this as just a one-shot. And I've got some ideas of how, if you just want to pick this up and run it as a one-shot, how you would do that. So we're going to start off with just a diary note in here from Pierre Von Strom, who is that's his house. So this is his nice mansion, well, as it was. And here we go. Here it's all like the layout. People wrote the layout. So we've got Glenn Stark in here that's written the layout, and then all of the creative artwork and writers are all included in here. Okay. We've then got a further diary note, which I'm not going to spoil, but I'm going to summarize. So basically, Pierre Von Strom has found a stone that is grey in colour, and when he does something to it, he turns into mist. All his belongings turn into mist. So he has now named himself the Phantom, and he is just going around posh places, museums type thing, anywhere nice to go and steal magical, powerful, or valuable items. And the locals are fully aware that this man not is the Phantom, but his house is full of really nice stuff. Okay. So how do we get going in the adventure? This is one saying you need to carry on from the first part, or say you can drop it as a one-shot, and I'll discuss that at the end. So you can carry on working with Old Man Perkins. He's the person that sets up the first adventure. The end of the second adventure, which is at the end of the first zine, they will meet someone, and they may allow, depending on how that goes, they may ally themselves with Armon Zaha here, or they can just strike out on their own. They could have just come across a diary note. If they're going to do the diary note one, you're going to need an intelligence check, DC 20, which means they're going to solve this puzzle here, okay? There is the cipher here. If you want to just let the players work it out for themselves and spend a few evenings, probably, you can do that. Or you can just hand them the converted note. It's really up to you how you get them there. Say you've got 3 different ways of getting the players in them. And it's quite nice because it depends on how the first adventure ended. Okay, so we're going to open up with the city of Valemire, which, as you can see, it resides on the top of a 200-foot cliff overlooking the Sea of Claws. So it has got a harbour, it's got an upper and high and low harbour, and it is quite an affluent city. There's quite a lot of money here, and the buildings, as you can imagine, are, well, they will reflect the fact that people have got money. But there is a catch with the area as we get closer to it, which we'll come on to in a second. But first of all, what we need to do is find out some of the key locations in the house, or the key people in the house. So we've got Pierre's ghost. Slight spoiler, he's dead. Okay, so he's gone missing for 50 years. And that is because we are now looking for his ghost. The players don't know this. We've got some drawings here, or some artwork of some of the special and magical items that he's got in the house. So we've got a key locations for the ghost, we've got for his zombie, and then the Bloodstone, which is the item that the players are looking for. So we've got, is it a D10? That's it, a D10, D8 and a D6. So it offers you, as Games Master, a lot of replayability. And realistically, if you are a player and still watching this, even though I told you to leave, you're still not going to know where the 3 key locations, well, the key sort of plot devices are in here. Okay, I love this bit. What we've got is we've got 12 magical items dispersed amongst the house as well. There is a random table where all the random items are going to be 10 divided by 12. That doesn't make sense. It's because when you roll certain numbers, it will put many of them, if you roll the same number, it will put them into different rooms. Okay, so again, huge amount of replayability. But what the players don't know or aren't aware of is 50% of them are genuine items. So you can decide as a Games Master which magical items you want to use, or you can randomly roll it, just go 50-50 as they pick it up to find out whether it really is a magical item. So here we've got a Shard of Shadows, for example, a beautiful handcrafted dagger with a glossy black blade. It's worth around about 100 gold pieces to the right collector. Some of these are magical items, some of them are cursed. I'll let you discover that in your own time, but it does mean some of them are just going to be an owl, for argument's sake. So there is a random chance. And again, this offers, as a Games Master, a lot more replayability. If you want to go through a 13th item, create your own. By all means, add your own magical items into the house or mansion. Okay, so where are the artifacts? To say we've got a D10 here, and they are going to be dispersed in and around this house. We then get the rules for what went on in Pierre's manor house. So I will summarize this. So 50 years ago, he made the foolish error of breaking into and stealing from a very powerful mage, who then decided that, well, you can live and die in your house. If you're going to steal magical items from people, then I'm going to seal off the house, and it is just this magical prison where he's obviously, because there's a ghost and a zombie, he has died and his body's come back, and then he's also got the spirit form. Slightly worse than that, because the house has now housed no natural light, playing into ShadowDark perfectly. But the house itself, the local residents are aware that this house has issues. People have broken in over time. They've either never returned or they've lost their mind, so to speak. So local residents started moving out. The Valemire whole area has become a bit of a slum. So there are gangsters in there and sort of gang runners, and there's now giant rats that have broken into the house. But yeah, it was once a very wealthy merchant district, and it's now just this rundown. They even at some stage tried to burn the place down, and it just didn't catch fire. So, yeah, there's obviously some magic going there, which has made the local residents a little bit apprehensive. We've got a few ways of getting in. So it's all been boarded up from the outside to stop, people don't want other people breaking in, because of anyone that breaks in there tends to die. You'll see why as the adventure goes on. But it has, one of the back doors has been chewed. Well, the only back door, I should say, has been chewed through. So halflings or goblins can easily fit through. Humans or elves can fit through. And half-orcs might need to actually break in to actually get through. Or you can get through in the attic at the top after a climb check. We then get these beautiful maps. I do love how the maps are just getting better and better, because some of the maps that I look at, they are just a map, but this actually gives you an idea of what's in the room, because once you come to the room descriptors, I think there's 25 locations in this house, and each one, so you can just see from the map here to get a good idea of what's going on. So we've got the ground floor here with the back door, variety of servants' quarters, sort of reception areas where you meet and greet people. We're then on to the second floor, or we call it the first floor in the UK, but obviously the second floor, because Talik is the American, I assume, or at least that side of the Atlantic. And so, yeah, we've got, again, some more guest bedrooms, main bedrooms, lavatory. We've actually got a bathroom. It's one of those things that drives me mad when people do maps and there's no actual toilets in here. And then we've got the third floor, or the attic, which has been converted into this massive training area, because, he wants to become this wonderful shadow mystic man that goes and steals stuff. So he spent time training, learning how to climb, to shoot, and things like that. And then finally, we've got the upper attic here with 2 chests. Whoa! One of the chests might not be a chest. Looking at this picture here, yeah, it's not a chest. I said there'd be slight spoilers. And then basically we're down into the wine cellar in the basement, which has got a sarcophagus here and a really interesting part in here as well. From the ghost point of view, because you can never have too many options, there's 2 ways of running the ghost. You can run him as full of rage, angry and aggressive, or you can have him watchful, intriguing. He's been 50 years by himself and he's just kind of watching, seeing what's going on. However, steal from him, he jumps into option 1, because, don't take my stuff. Giant rats have also broken in and now inhabit here. They've got their own specific disease, which the players aren't really going to want to sort of get, but they may do. And then the rest of the book is just the location descriptors of what's going on. And I'm not going to sort of spoil what's in each of the rooms. So each of these rooms will have the magic items. You'll have the zombie, you'll have a random chance for a ghost, and more importantly, you'll have another 12 magic items, or more if you want. So we've got suit of armor here with these red gems in. So dining room, details the kitchen. Most of the lower floor is ransacked. And there's 2 different stairways down to the bottom floor. And there's a bit where it says if the zombie is on the bottom floor, as they step down, the bottom steps are broken, because obviously that stops them coming back up. We've got his bed chamber in here that may or may not have a trap. It's got a trap. We've got some guest bedrooms in here. We've got his forgery workshop, which is a hidden room on the map, where this is where he creates because this is what it's saying about the 50% chance of the items. He also creates items to make himself look better and at thieving than he actually was. So he creates all these forgeries. Then we get into the attic spaces, which has got stingbats, which I actually had my first encounter with stingbats the other day, and they are bugger, aren't they, to get rid of. And then we're finally up into the upper attic, which has got that. One's got 500 gold pieces, the other one's got a mimic. So absolutely brilliant. Everyone loves mimics, and I like the fact mimics are in this game. Then we're down into the wine cellar. Say if the Pierre zombie is there, it just say the bottom 3 steps are broken because the zombie is trapped down there. Variety of things in the basement. We've got 2 vault rooms. One is still sealed. One has been chewed through. One contains the heart of something in this bowl here. And the other one is a sarcophagus that asks you here, where is my heart? Retrieve it for me. You will obey. Do the players go and do that? And then we've got a secret entrance out of that takes you out, as in all these things, to the sewers. So the players can just sort of backdoor out once they're at the bottom. With all of these so far, and with the homage to Warhammer Fantasy Roleplaying, you are going to be getting some XP for a variety of things you will do. There is a potential also for taking XP off them, depending on how they go about in the mansion. We've got a monster NPCs in here. We've got the giant rat stats as well. Then we've got the giant boss rat, horrible, nasty sting bats, which almost TPK'd us. Then we've got stats for Pierre Zombie, Pierre's ghost here, and then the Traitor priest, which is the creature where if they put the heart back in the chest, they're going to be fighting a level 6 creature with variety of different spells. So hopefully they don't. If they do, they may need to run. But luckily there is that secret exit out so they can get out and escape. And then obviously we've got the stats for the mimic, and then the beautiful artwork here as well for the house. That is it. So I'll jump back up to me and give you my final incredible thoughts of this. I love this. I really enjoyed what was in parts 1 and 2, and now we've got part 3, and I just now want part 4. I sometimes you become really impatient doing this, because when you talk to game designers and they tell you their plans, you're like, well, come on, then I might not live long enough to see the rest. Not that I'm planning on dying, and sometimes I should edit my thoughts out as I'm doing these things. But there's 12 parts to this, and it's getting prettier and better with every single one. Now, there's a little bit of a layout issue. There's one bit I don't really like, and this is like really minor point on here, and I'm just going to show you this bit. I don't like the fact I would have discussed more about the house and what's going on first, and then just got into the actual locations and where all the random stuff is. That's just a me thing. I kind of wanted a little bit of lore explaining what's going on in the house before we really get into it. But that's such a minor issue compared to all the amazing stuff in this adventure. Definitely recommend this. Definitely recommend 1 and 2. So how would I run this as a one-shot? Because if you're going to run 1, 2, and you're going to naturally play 3, and the players, you got those hooks in. But if you want to just pick this up as an adventure, then I think it was there's a Conan adventure called I think it's the Elephant. Is it the Elephant God? Where he's basically just sat in a pub, and there's people talking about a house that has got incredible treasure in it. And, things like Conan, he's an incredible thief. That's going to excite people. And you can easily do this. It doesn't need to be in the town it is. It doesn't even need to be in the Warhammer world. If you want to pick this up and just run this as a house, a mansion encounter into any urban city, it doesn't even need to be an urban location. You could have this as a manor house in the middle of the countryside. Just have the villagers or the town folk have the rumour. There's incredible wealthy items in there. Nobody's ever come out in the last 50 years. Nobody knows where the owner is. We've tried to burn it down. All the hints at all the magical stuff. And there's no reason not to pick this up, whether you want whether you run the first part or you want to run this as a standalone. Absolutely amazing. Can't wait for the next ones. If you are going to pick this up, when you pick this up, please do consider using my affiliate link, because it does help me say everything on there. I just throw back into the channel, picking up any sort of books, zines. I've got a few to come from DriveThruRPG that I've bought over the last month as well, so I tend to just wait for the money to build up at the end of the month or substantial and then spend it. If you want to support me elsewhere, I do have my own Patreon. Come join me on Discord. We've got live plays that go on every Friday. The channel is building really well, so thank you for everyone that watches, likes, shares, subscribes, interacts with me on any of the social media. I'm back at Instagram. Don't know why. It's not going to do anything. Instagram's a weird beast. But I'm going to leave it there. So say Give this video a thumbs up. Please do share it with your friends. If you're a player, send this to your games master. You're going to, not that you should be here, but you're going to want to play this. And I'll see you on the next one. Thank you for watching.